So, welcome everybody to the webinar all about how to take your business global. So we're extremely grateful that you are here tuning in. You guys are in for a treat. You guys are going to hear from three amazing human beings, leaders that are growing Dubai, South Africa, and Spain. As you guys already know, last week we had Mexico, and we also had Panama, the Dominican Republic, and we learned about their markets and how we could also expand into their markets. So the first question I'm going to ask these three leaders is to tell me about themselves so you guys can get closely related to who they are, and also share with us how they got to EXP, and then we'll get into other questions. So ladies first, I would say, and I think that who wants to go first? Renata, you want to go first?
Absolutely.
All right.
So I have 16 years of real estate experience, of professional experience, 9 of which in real estate. I have lived in 5 different countries, and I was living in Brazil, decided that I wanted, let me take a step back. I was living in Brazil, working at a prop tech company in a big unicorn there, and there I started looking, my job was to look at different business models and test different products. That's when I got to know EXP, and I got to copy many things of EXP. I really loved the business model. I'm talking about 2018, 2019. I really loved the business model. I really loved how it could give financial freedom to people. And I started copying, and I really liked the technology. So I started copying many of the things, but it was something like that was far away. And EXP was not in Brazil at the time. So it was just like a benchmark for me and people I looked up to. Later, a couple of years later, I decided to move to Spain with my husband. I thought the pandemic was going to last 2 months, maybe. So I moved, and things got locked down, and I was in Spain without speaking the language very well. And I'm Brazilian, without speaking the language very well, and talking to people, like trying to discover what I was going to do, navigate the market. And I was in one of these benchmark conversations with Michael. And by the end of the conversation, Michael said, well, you know what? I was talking about something else. And he said, you know what? We're opening Spain. Don't you want to open it? And the second conversation I had was already to negotiate. I don't think he knows I was Brazilian. And I said, like, but why did you choose me? And he said, well, because you're really passionate about the product, about the mission to give this product to agents. So then I launched Spain, and that's the story. Now we have 400 agents. Leo, you do an amazing job in Spain, the way you support your downline there, the weekly calls that you do. It's so inspiring for people, and it really makes a difference. Like, we give them the support, the technical support, the real estate support, but actually to navigate the emotional roller coaster that it takes to be an entrepreneur, that's your job, and you do an amazing job doing that. And that's why almost half of our downline is yours. And you're getting some competition now, but
that's
congratulations
good.
to everything.
We love it. We love it. We love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. I did not your full on story, so I really appreciate you sharing. And that's how it is, right? Your opportunities, when you're ready for the opportunities present themselves, and the fact that you were already enamored with our model, it made all the difference in the world. And sometimes our pivots end up being our blessings. And I'm glad that you're here. Thank you so much for your leadership. And Dondia, same question to yourself, my friend. How to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to EXP.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Dunia Fadi. I started my career in 2005. It was about 18, 19 years ago in real estate. I fell in love and I carried on. I was a property consultant agent just for a very brief time, around a year and a half. And then soon after that, I became sales manager. And then from that, I became managing director and CEO for 10 years of a certain company, a local company here that I started with my friend. After that, I left to started my own, which I had the company for 3 years. Then in 2019, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services opened their franchise here. Somebody from here opened the franchise, and I was approached by them, and I really loved the brand. I think it has a great legacy and all the history behind it. But unfortunately, it was just a franchise, because a franchise is a franchise. It's always influenced by its local ownership and everything. So it wasn't a place that I could grow and reach my, exceed my potential and everything. So I decided again to just part ways and start my own, because previously I merged my company with them. But when I was doing that, when I was in the planning of leaving and also, starting my own, I met a friend, and he found out I was, in between jobs, or I was not, committed to my previous job. So he recommended. He said, I know this company. They're great. They're opening in Dubai, and we're helping them out and everything. Why don't you talk to them? And I'm like, okay. I'm someone who never says no to opportunities. I'd like to see things till the end, and I don't like to live in the world of what if, what if, what if. So I said, yeah, why not? Already I had my license. I got everything going. Or literally, I chose the office. So I met with the team from EXP. I remember I was on a trip to Turkey for a wedding, but I had like 4 meetings during that trip of few days. And of course, because they liked me, from one person, I moved to another person, eventually to Michael Valdez, who was a brilliant leader. And he was like, he was the last decision maker, and I really fell in love with the company, with the business model, with the idea of its being Asian centric, and the technology part of it, and the fact that it's different. And I thought, okay, for Dubai, this is really amazing. This is a good time. It's our market is maturing, and really brokers need to be rewarded for their brilliant work that they do. So I want to be the one bringing this change. I looked at myself and I said, I can start my own anytime I wish. If this doesn't work out, I can always go back, but I really want to do this and see it through. So I decided, I dropped the idea of starting my own, and I just ventured into becoming the managing director, we call it here in Dubai, for EXP Dubai. And I really enjoyed it. It was the best decision, I may say. I can go and say that proudly. It was one of the best decisions I made about my career. But I think the entire career led me to that decision. So I appreciate everything before that. But it's totally different. I'm very proud when I speak about the company. I'm very, you're sure, you're not like pretending. This is real, what we're sharing, the growth, the success, the global platforms, everything that we're sharing. And I attended, and I'm really gutted I'm not at EXPCon this year because I had some commitments back here. But last year I went to EXPCon to meet the team, and I really enjoyed it. I came back very energized. So yes, I'm enjoying working with EXP. And we'll talk about Dubai a little later. So over to you, Andrew.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate. Andrew, same question, my friend.
Yeah, Leo, Jasmine, Joseph, thanks very much for the invite, and what a great pleasure to be here with my colleagues, Dunay and Renata. Always good to see the team. And yeah, certainly, I think I'm one of the older members of the team, and I started out in my industry. I was a hotelier by trade, and got into the hotel business. I ended up managing 31 hotels between Zimbabwe, Botswana, and South Africa, predominantly Southern Africa. But funny enough, right in the beginning, I was making beds and cooking eggs and bacon in the morning and doing that kind of thing. And I went from trainee all the way up to being a regional director for a large hotel company in South Africa. So I got to see game lodges and corporate hotels and big resort hotels, and I loved the experience. And it just was a little bit difficult on my lifestyle because I was in planes and trains and taxis, and I traveled the world in a very big way. So I decided to change tact, and I tried real estate. I lasted about 5 days. I'll be quite honest with you, okay? And I then thought, no, I've got to do something very different. And I got into the development game. And we did large-scale developments for around about 18, 19 years in KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa, ventured into Mauritius, some of our neighboring countries, looking at large-scale mixed-use developments, 2,000 to 4,500 units, the kind of thing that Dunay looks at in Dubai in particular. And that was my game for a 19-year period. And through that experience, I was driving in 4x4s and hosting people in boardrooms and flying helicopters and taking big investors, funders, bankers to these destinations in South Africa. And we thought, no, we needed an international reach. So we opened a Keller Williams franchise in a small town in the north coast of KwaZulu-Natal. And I headed that up, and I ran that for around about a 15-month period. I got it to 51 agents, which was a hard task. And I got it into profitable state within 15 months. And a little birdie landed on my shoulder, and I was so thankful for it because I heard EXP was coming to South Africa. And it was a beautiful bird because I've never been welcomed into a company like EXP. I've loved the experience, absolutely phenomenal, very collaborative environment, beautiful people, a really busy environment, but a positive environment. I love the integrity, the trust. It just oozes great leadership and incredible vision. I haven't met Glenn Sanford in person, but I feel like I know him very well. And I can tell his story. And what I really do love is we've had the ability to really leverage the market in South Africa. And we've got an excited team. We've got an energized team. We've grown an agent team to 1,120 agents here locally in South Africa. We run under a licensed authority locally from a governmental point of view. So every agent has to be licensed. And I just really take my hat off to our agent team, our big international networkers, guys like yourselves, in terms of promoting our country and allowing us to do what we really do well, and that is support our agents. So it's been a great experience, and I'm certainly honored to be on your call this evening, and I do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The honor is all ours. I know Jasmine and Joseph, we all feel the same. And thank you so much for sharing your stories. I feel like I'm much more connected to you guys, and I'm so excited to continue to collaborate and expand into your countries. And I know that Joseph and Jasmine are going to have some questions, but before they get to their questions, I have one more question about the state of the market, just so we are aware of what's happening in your market. I would love to hear, tell us the real deal of what's happening in your marketplace. And I know that obviously it's a big country, right? So just try to give us as much information as possible, because what we're trying to do is also educate everybody on, the market and how we can also expand with referrals, not only with agent count. So all of the above. So Renata, if you want to start off kind of giving us some insight on what's happening in your marketplace.
Absolutely. So Spain is a country that has, compared to other countries in Europe, proportionally low prices. It has a great climate, and well, culturally, artistically, it's an amazing country. So it has a lot of interest from international buyers. 25%, 24% of Spanish sales of properties are made from international clients. And I think EXP plays a very big role here because of our infrastructure and because of our technology. Agents are much better fit to do international transactions than the other players, right? So I think to get started, if somebody here wants to create an infrastructure to find international buyers for the properties that your downline is going to be building in Spain, you have an awesome value proposition, because agents really need help finding these buyers, right? So we're talking about expertise in running the campaigns, speaking the local language, inviting the local agents to webinars to educate them, to educate the international buyers about the market, the same thing that you're doing here, Leo, but focused on buyers. That is a really strong value proposition for your potential agents. And of course, it's going to improve your sales. You can get the revenue share, you can get a split. It's a very interesting business that you can consider developing here in Spain. Overall, the structure of the market in Spain, we have about, it's hard to say because there's no official data, but I estimate between 50 and 70,000 agents. They make on average $60,000 per year. That's a pretty good, that's twice the minimum wage in Spain. So that's a pretty good standard of living. There is no requirements for a license, except in 2 regions, one of them being Barcelona. But you can get a license with 5 weeks, with a 5-week course, a couple of $100 of an investment. It's very achievable. However, we in EXP Spain only accept agents that have at least 1 year experience with a strong track record. We do a very strong selection process, filtering process. We do interview and we do reject clients when agents when we don't see a fit. So if you want to try to develop the inexperienced agents, I think there's a lot of people with good potential there that don't have real estate experience. Think about how you can train them and make them productive before joining EXP. And there is synergy. Rafa, your main person in Spain, did exactly that. So he has trainings and amazing courses. He's local. Oh, that's a very important thing. Choose very well the first person that you're bringing in and support that person. It's more than a marketing campaign. It's exactly Leo's playbook. This worked very well, and the people who are working well now are copying his formula. So he cherry-picked the first player, and he really supported this person. So going back to the license thing, if you want to work with people who don't have experience, think about how you can make them productive before joining EXP. Because with the tools that we have, we are not able yet to support people who don't have experience.
Yes.
We can scale people who already have experience, but we cannot get them started. What else? Interest rates are going up, but we're not seeing a drop in the volumes or in the price. We're seeing a drop in the volumes. We're not seeing a significant drop in prices in most of the regions, except some luxury regions. But in the coast, where there's a lot of activity, in Madrid, of course, which is not in the coast, we are seeing a lot of volume, and our agents are better and better. We are still growing. The market is dropping a little bit, but we are growing in all the regions that we are in.
Love it. That's good. Thank you so much, Renata. I really appreciate that. Dudia as well. Same question, Dubai. How's the Dubai market? And you are muted, my friend. Give me one sec.
Oops,
go for it.
Sorry.
There you go.
I'm the one who gets to gloat here because Dubai honestly is I don't want to use the usual word booming, but it's really doing well. It has been doing well for a few years now. It has seen ups and downs. Of course, I've started my career in 2005. We had the recession, like everyone else in the world. We have recovered from that. Then we had a little bit of, slowdown in between. Then the COVID panic, and post-COVID has just been brilliant. The government has done brilliantly managing the pandemic, changing the laws, being more flexible, giving, the golden visa, the 10 years golden visa with a property investment of 2 million dirham, which is around $600,000. All of that has positively affected Dubai, other than the fact that it's a beautiful melting pot for all cultures and religions and cultures. We have more than 90% of the population of Dubai or the UAE in general are expats. Everyone lives in a harmony here. There is no problem, literally. We have mosques, we have churches, we have synagogues, we have temples, and it's just beautiful. It's very much easy to adapt. The 2023 year has seen, up to August, these are the numbers up to August, around $68.5 billion worth of transactions. And the number of transactions for that was around just over 72,000 units transacted. This is all the way up to August. Wow. And despite the fact that we're only 3.5 million population here in Dubai, we've seen, for the first half of this year, we've seen 8.5 million visitors that visited Dubai, and a lot of people are investing from overseas because we're entirely like international here. So we have a lot of people who are buying second homes here or buying homes or properties for investments. We sell a lot under construction as well. It's actually equal when you look at the data. So we have like half secondary. Out of that 72 that I just mentioned, they're like just around 35,000 are secondary markets, and The other 36,000 is off plan, which is under constructions. Our market is highly regulated in both segments, secondary and primary. All projects are registered, all developers are registered, the money goes to escrow when you're buying under construction. Secondary, we have the whole process digital, with the whole application and the contracts and forms provided by the government. We just have to, of course, input the information and add in the special conditions. And we as brokers are able to carry the transactions all the way till the end. In terms of, I mean, you asked me, in general, the market is doing quite well. We don't see a slowdown. I mean, I know that there are, there's speculation about the markets overseas, not only speculations, the numbers have shown, the markets have gone down a little bit. The sales in Canada, US, some in Europe has gone down, but in Dubai, we're still seeing a month-to-month increase and year-on-year increase. And I think it's going to be like this for a while because, like I said, the way we handled the pandemic, I've lived here 18 years. I've never felt as lucky as I did during the pandemic for being in Dubai, and living here. The rents are very good. The return on investment when you rent a property, you get anywhere between 5, 6, 7, 8%, depending if you're in a prime location or a little bit on the affordable segment. You also have no tax. There is no property tax, and no one can compete with me on this, you guys, because we had this in Europe last month in Italy. So there is no tax on property when you buy it. You don't pay capital gain tax. You don't pay any tax on your rental, except for your own country, of course, if you have any obligations towards that. But in Dubai, the UAE government doesn't take anything from you. The one-time fee you pay is when you buy a property, and in order to register it in your name, you pay 4% to register the title deed. Other than that, the competition is quite fierce, of course. We have around 30,000 registered brokers. But I'm sure there are a few that are not registered and still doing business and earning money. Overall, it's quite very healthy. And now we're coming into the good season because now the summer is coming to an end. The heat is going, and we're gonna start now receiving a lot of tourists and visitors, and 12 till maybe. In fact, even during the summer, it didn't slow down, but we see a peak from October till May, June, usually.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of that information. I took a lot of notes. And Mr. Andrew, same question, my friend. What's the state of the market in South Africa?
Yeah, Leo, if we compare to previous years, we've seen a genuine slowdown over the last sort of 2 months in particular. And when not from a company point of view, but more just from a general market perspective. And we were warned about it during last year. I remember Michael Valdez saying, this is happening in America. We're expecting a little bit of a recession, and we live off the back of a lag on America from a South African point of view. So certainly August and September months, we've felt it, but we've got a good pipeline of deals going forward from a company perspective. And I do believe the market is going to pick up. The other thing that's happening is it's our voting year next year. So from a political point of view, it's a big year for us next year. And I think people are in South Africa are being a little bit conservative in terms of outlaying money, etc., in terms of purchasing and moving, etc. So there's a little bit of caution in that regard. I just want to lay it out, South Africa gross domestic product contribution from a property perspective is 5.3 trillion rands on an annualized basis. And that's a huge contribution to the GDP. So that's one thing. The second part is we 61 million people in South Africa, 44,000 real estate professionals operating in the country. So there's always movement in the market. So whether it's commercial, retail, residential, light industrial, whatever the case might be, there are opportunities at the moment. And I think it is really going into a buyer's market. There's good investment opportunities, especially on smaller units, luxury component really taking place in commercial towns. We're seeing a semigration taking place, especially from inland venues down to coastal areas, to smaller towns, villages, rural areas, etc. But I always think of the foreign market because you can buy South African property on a 20-to-1 ratio. Our rand is literally 20-to-1 at the present moment, from rand to US dollar. So someone looking at buying a small buy-to-let apartment in Cape Town, you know, or a buy-to-let apartment on the Garden Route in a coastal town, where you're thinking of maybe coming out here and spending 3-4 months here a year, spending your winter months here in a beautiful summer, could be an incredible stay. And for the rest of the time, having the ability to let it out, that could be a great purchase going forward. But what I'm saying to you is that there's a market out there, there's an investor market out there, and we have the ability to attract international investors. Most certainly, I would reach out to an EXP South Africa agent, and we can help you on the ground. No problem at all.
Love it. I love it. Thank you so much. I'm making it part of my vision to visit you guys in your countries and staying there for some time in Dubai, Spain, and South Africa. So you guys will see me next year for sure. So thank you guys all for sharing for the state of the market. Definitely much more knowledgeable. Go ahead, Andrew. I think you were going to say one more thing.
Yeah, if I can just say something, you know, what I've learned through my hotel experience and just generally through life, if you go to a place and you have a good experience through tourism, and Dunay would agree with me, you know, you go to Dubai or you go to Spain or you go to any country around the world, you have a good restaurant experience, you have a good fun entertainment, great sporting experience, whatever the case might be, and you do a pre-tour of a big conference and a post-tour, etc., and you go away and you tell people about it, inevitably you're going to go back there and invest. So it's inevitable. If you do come to South Africa and we can lay on a bit of a tour for you to go see the game lodges and go see the Big Five and go do those things, get into the vineyards and go taste the wines, etc., get into Cape Town and go shark cage diving and do all those experiences, go up Table Mountain, which you see in the picture behind me here, do those things, and you go away and you have a great experience, you're going to end up investing here. So rather invest in the tourism, because ultimately you'll invest in that country. Thank you very much.
Love it, man. Love it, love it, love it. For sure, man. Thank you so much for sharing. And one last thing. So yeah, I'm going to be speaking out February 2nd in Spain. Renata just told me about this. So we're going to be speaking a keynote out in the conference. So thank you for the invite, by the way. Really appreciate that.
Thank you so much. It's going to be, I was so excited when you accepted our invitation. So thank you so much. Well, it was more like, it was almost a convocation, right? It was compulsory.
Yes,
but
exactly.
we're going to be so happy to have you there. Thank you so much for being with us.
100%, 100%. All right, Mr. Joseph and Jazz, let's take it away. What other questions do you have for these amazing leaders?
Hey, Jazz, I'll jump in really quick. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to you three for jumping on this opportunity for us to pick your brains about these global opportunities. And Leo stole my question about urbanization, but it's okay. I had another one as a backup. What I'd love to ask each one of you is just kind of talking about like globalization, right? So clearly in every industry, including real estate, especially post-pandemic, every industry has encountered, you know, some disruption in technologies. And the question is, how are real estate agents in your countries adapting to this model at EXP that is virtual, that isn't, you know, contingent upon brick and mortar workplaces? Are we finding that our agents are able to thrive in that environment?
I'll go first. So for Dubai, usually the culture is that we all have offices, and they're fancy offices, and the fancier office you can have, the better you are. But for me, the logic behind not having a fancy office is I'm not making the agent pay for it, right? If you have a fancy office as a brokerage, who's paying for that? It's the agent who's paying for that, right? By taking 50% of the commission. So you choose. You want the money in your bank account, or you want to be going to a fancy office every morning. But you can always replace that. We're not saying that we don't require an office, we don't need to get together. I make sure that I get together with my team at least twice a month, face-to-face. And we do an online meeting like twice a week. And out of those twice a week, look, 8 times a month, 2 are face-to-face. We also go and visit developers together as one team. We always show unity. We are always together. We're always chatting. We have coming up soon a night or an evening with Dubai in the metaverse, because we realize that when we go to sleep, you guys wake up and then you have nobody to talk to. So I want to give you that couple of hours, 3 hours in our office in Dubai in EXP World to be able to come and ask questions. We're going to announce soon. I haven't set the dates because the entire team was busy in EXPCon, but we have that in mind. So I think it's a new way of working, you know, and we have a lot of developer offices here that are open for agents to go and, you know, just sit and have their laptops and work. We have beautiful hotels with beautiful lobbies. So I think the flexibility is very good to have, because if you don't and you have a fancy office and you expect every agent to be there, the agent is not supposed to be in the office. An agent, real estate agent, is supposed to be out there meeting, viewings. You maximum, I think, you need on your admin work daily basis, maybe 2 hours if you're doing, you know, and then I say you come back to the office at the end of the day and do your contracts, because that's the goal, right? You're out there viewing and getting offers and prospecting, and then at the end of the day, if you need to be in the office, so we have that facility for the agent. Of course, if they need us, we're always available for them, because Dubai legally you require an office, but we have a very small one, but part of a business center, of course, with the greater facilities. But I think this is what EXP agents need, or any other agents, for example, because the business model in Dubai is very new, right? It's totally different. We're very spoiled here. All the agents here like I said, I keep saying, fancy offices. They come in the morning and find like leads waiting for them. They take everything for granted, to be honest. But when you have the highest commission coming to you, you're highly motivated to work even more, because the more I work, the more hours I put in of work, the more money I am making, the better, you know, my shares, my revenue share, my everything that EXP offers an agent is there. And going to globalization, what Joseph mentioned is that, look at us now, we have 24 locations, right? Some markets are slow, some markets are just fine, right? But imagine you have a sales organization throughout those countries. Your income is not going to be disrupted, because if you have a downline in the US and it's, you know, the production is slower and, you know, people are finding it difficult with interest rates are high and everything, and there are not much sales. But if you have a team in like Dubai and in Spain and India and all, and South Africa, these markets are still going. So you're still going to have an income with EXP. And this is the beauty about it, that your business is global, which means you're going to have around the year, while you're asleep, basically, if you have a team in Dubai, while you're sleeping in the US, we're closing deals for you here and you're making revenue share. So I really love the idea. It is new, and anything new, people don't like change, right? But it depends on how we deliver it to them. And I am enjoying it, and I'm with great pride delivering it to the agents. So if they can see that I'm actually invested in it and I have 18 years of experience in this market, they definitely can see the value in it. I mean, I had an agent the other day who was highly experienced, and he's got like literally $1 million worth of pipeline commission in waiting for it to be paid. Deals are closed. Then he said, Dunya, if I didn't have that, I'll join you today, because he immediately saw the value of what EXP has to offer to agents. So yes, it's in any new market, it's going to be difficult at first, but when people see the value of it, when we build the right foundations, like we're all doing, like Renata said earlier, we bring in experienced agents to start. I mean, we focus, because also Dubai, like I said in the beginning, there are expats, right? So I don't have a couch to sleep on if things go wrong, you know. We're all expats here. We have to, you know, pay rent and pay our expenses, and it's not cheap. So I have to be sure that this is what I want to do. This is the career I want to take, because there are no salaries. It's commission based. So you have to be very careful when you're choosing someone to join in Dubai. Should have experiences, should have made up hers or his mind that this is what they want to do, and have a little bit of buffer just until you get going, because as you know, 2-3 months you need to get used to the new systems and stuff.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And just out of curiosity, you mentioned there's a there's a big separator in commission splits, I think is what you were referring to. Is there an average that you could share with us?
So the average or the traditional split in Dubai would be 50-50. A lot of companies start at that. And then you have some agents who are slightly like more experienced and they already can prove that they have income ongoing, like business and deals. They can get 60, and sometimes it will go like if you close $1 million or $2 million, then you'll earn 70 at the end of the year. But with us in Dubai, we start at 75% straight away, and when you cap at 500,000 gross income, you get 95%. So it's no-brainer basically that if you are a capable broker, this is a no-brainer for you.
Yeah, clearly. Well, thank you for that. And Renata, same question for you, my friend.
So in terms of the disruption, how technology, specifically how the metaverse can help agents, I think there's two parts here, right? One of them is the interaction with the client, and the second one is the interaction between different agents, the sense of community, right? In the first side, integration with the interactions with the client, I think the pandemic really showed that, which was pretty obvious, which was like no clients are coming from the shop, from the physical shop that you have anymore, right? And it is harder and harder to prove the commercial value of having an office unless you're talking about community, which is something that we're going to talk later. But what we see is that clients don't come from the shop as they did in the 90s, right? And you don't get a better conversion of those clients if you take them to your office. We were doing a panel yesterday, and we talked exactly about that. When you take your client to your office, you're taking them to your comfort zone, not their comfort zone. So they're not going to be more prone to closing a deal because you have an office. They're going to be a lot more prone to closing a deal if you go to their house, right? Or if you go to somewhere they're comfortable. So the commercial value of the office is, I don't see it being proven in these days, right? But you do have a big value, and in that sense, just to close the first part, right? In that sense, we, as an agent-centric technology company, we created, with an agent's point of view, exactly the kind of technology that makes the agent's life more productive, right? So, and it's very interesting to see how it stripped everything that doesn't add value, and it digitalized everything that an agent needs and makes their life more efficient so that they can spend more time in person with the client and less time signing contracts by hand and sending via email and this kind of stuff, because it's all very well controlled. So this is the first part that I think we made a revolution, and that gives financial freedom to so many people. The second part is regarding the community. And in that sense, I think I think that with technology, we can do a really good job getting to stripping 80% of the need of being in person. There's still a 10-20%, I don't know how much it is, but there's still a small percentage that requires the physical interaction for people to feel as they are in a community, right? I think that technology and COVID really opened our minds and created and made us see that it's possible to form a sense of community, even though you're not in person all the time. And actually, it showed how inconvenient it is to really go to an office to have that sense of community too often. But there's still a big part that has to play, that is like in-person, high quality time together, right? And that's the human part. And I think that the art is to actually use the very expensive money that takes to do in-person interaction to make sure that they're very high quality. And this is what we're doing very well in EXP. We have like EXP Con, and when you're there, it's transformational. It's once a year. You have EXP Con and shareholders, but it's twice a year. You're not going to be spending money on an office and making sure that it's clean, that it has water and has coffee, but you're going to spend that money in an event and it's going to be very transformational for people. And the teams do the same. And I'm telling you this because if you guys are planning on building an international team, plan on some high quality physical interactions. For example, Leo coming to Spain to see his downline, 160 people you have here. And it's going to be much more by then. And he's going to see them in person. He's an inspirational guy, and they're going to love seeing him here. And you can also, of course, incentivize people to go to other places. You can explore that, right? And you can use the technology for the day-to-day and to keep people in check, to navigate the emotional roller coaster, but then plan on some high quality physical interactions with your team.
I love that answer. Thank you. Andrew?
Yeah, just very quickly, I just love this virtual environment. First time I've ever been able to work from home environment for me. I used to travel a lot, etc. So what it's done for me in particular and for our agent team is it's found us 3 or 4 more hours to go apply what you really do well. And if you're a networker and you're out in the market, that's where you want to be. That's where you do business. And I was on a Zoom call the other day, and I spoke about this being the safest and the healthiest environment that I've ever worked in, because it really is. And my beautiful girlfriend ran into my office and said, Andrew, there's a snake in the garage. So I had to go sort that out. And we did safe snake back into the garden. So that was all fine. But no, seriously, I think what is so important to have a look at EXP World, where EXP World was three years ago, how it's advanced. Yes, it's still a big download just in terms of experience. We've now moved to Frame VR, and I've got agents in South Africa doing sales without visiting properties through Frame VR. The avatars in Frame VR have advanced, the visuals, everything is advancing every single day, and you can feel it. It's an easy technology to use, especially in a one-on-one situation. So I think that's very key. And I really believe our technicians within EXP are so superb that in 2 to 3 years' time, it's going to be 5D and 5G. We won't be having a 2-dimensional or a 1-dimensional call in 2 to 3 years' time. We're going to be walking around each other. We won't be going to conference rooms unless we want to be doing so, or going to coffee shops, whatever it might be. We'll be able to visualize each other in persona in that kind of environment. And I really believe it's going there extremely quickly. I do want to say, I don't think the relationships are ever going to go. So the in-person is absolutely vital. And as much technology as we throw at people, I really believe that technology just really makes the agent sing. So we're having a good experience. I think we're in a great environment, and we are most certainly the future of real estate.
Yeah, thank you three for answering that question. Just in quick summary, I think we're all in agreement. No matter where we're at in the world, there's adaptation that's occurring, right? And technology, especially when we give conversation to the future of real estate and the agents that are not even in real estate right now, what kind of technology and platform are they going to be accustomed to? And it's certainly going to be one that they can access on their phone, in social platforms, through metaverse platforms. So thank you three for answering that question. I appreciate you guys so much.
Just to add one more thing, Joseph, we always think about the benefits of technology. We have to look at it the other way. The risks of being left behind are even greater, because I was talking about the AI, and we all are like in conflict with AI, right? Everyone. And I think EXPCon this year was all about AI, but I had a presentation about AI a couple of days ago. And I was like, the benefits are very clear, but no one knows the risks of not adapting and harnessing that technology. We all are going to be left behind, and that means your business cannot advance. You cannot beat the competition if you're resisting to the change.
Thank you for adding that. And I just have one question for all of you amazing leaders. As being able to work from home and being able to be literally anywhere around the world and work from there, one of the other biggest, I would say, keys, right, to any company, any brokerage is culture. So my question to these amazing 3 directors from 3 amazing countries is, how do you make sure that your culture stays the same and that it is not that it doesn't change, right? That we continue to support our agents and the leadership continues to be strong.
Can I start this time? I'll start out if that's all right. Yeah. You know, I've never communicated so much in my life in the last 3 years, and it's through the technology and the ability to utilize the tools that we've got. And it just gives us the ability to really celebrate with our agent team, with our leadership team. So to be out there amongst your people on a regular basis, be it through technology, to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, building the culture, warming up towards each other. I mean, Renata, I haven't met before in person. Dunea, I haven't met before in person, but we do feel like family, and that family culture, that community of real estate professionals, the collaborative sort of spirit between agent to agent, country to country, leadership to leadership across the globe is just immense. And if we just continue with that culture of celebrating success and making sure that we are breeding success within our organization, I just believe, you know, Glenn Sanford's outlook of, we at 89,000 agents at the moment, 10 years, 100 countries, 1 million agents, that is extremely achievable. And what a journey to be on. There's a great privilege. There's a lot of money to be made. We're working within the best compensation model in the world, and it's just going to get better and better as we go along. So I've got no doubt we're on a tremendous growth path. In terms of agent count, the production's going to come through really nicely. We're going to have the ability to travel the world, and what an incredible experience. So I hope that answers your question, Jasmine. Just a couple of things there. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Andrew. And my two beautiful ladies, whoever wants to start.
I'll go ahead since Renata gave me the go ahead. For me, I would say that the dominant factor for our EXP company is collaboration, and I could see that very clear during EXPCon last year when I was there. There were 142 agents on stage. They were talking, they were presenting, and I couldn't see competition. I only saw collaboration, and I took that and carried it back with me here. And that's what we do. And of course, to keep the culture and to preserve it in our Dubai operation, at least, is very important. It comes from the selecting time, you know, when you're selecting a person to come to your team. And in Dubai, we're very small markets in terms of like numbers of people and everything. I'm very selective when it comes to the person that is going to join our team, because if it's not going to add value, it's going to be detrimental to us. And if they don't share the same vision, if they are not, you know, growth ambassadors, if they don't have that mindset of collaboration, and if they look at their colleagues as competition, that's not what we want, right? But in general, the feeling or the senses are that EXP is all about collaboration. I can pick up my phone and chat with anyone on work chat and say, hey, I don't understand this. Can I jump in a call with you for 10 minutes? And they're not going to say no. They say, oh, of course. Even though I have no business with them, they have no downline in Dubai. I have, like, there is no monetary benefit that he or she or me going to get from each other, but we are going to jump on the call and we're going to help each other. And I'm going to guide the person, or the person is going to guide me, and vice versa. So this is very important. EXP already has a culture as the one company, and that is collaboration and growth. And we are all, I think, in that frame of mind already.
I couldn't get myself out of mute. Yeah, I really like this. I think the collaboration is really, really important, is really key, and is really a differentiator. And that brings me to think that there's a big factor of the culture that is you guys. Because like we EXP corporate or institutional, we have the basic set of culture, and I think there's a lot of things maintaining our values alive and living our values, and all this that you guys explained really well. But I think you guys, I'm looking at where you are in my screen, Andrew and Dunia, you guys explained really well. but there's a big part that's you guys, Joseph, Jasmine, and Leo, and the other teams inside of EXP that are going to form that culture, because the people who are going to choose your downline are going to identify themselves to you and are going to be excited about the words you have to say and are going to be successful because of your methodology and your collaboration. So I turn the question back to you, Jasmine. What do you guys, I see what Leo does, so I know exactly how he keeps, like, I can say very clearly that Leo set up the culture of EXP Spain for success, right? And that's it's very beautiful to see what he did here. So I would, maybe the question is for Jasmine. What are you guys doing, and what would you recommend that people who are getting started building their downline do as first steps? I know that what Leo, or on the other hand, maybe Leo, if you want to talk, I know that what you have is very well structured. So, but what would you recommend for somebody who's getting started?
Yes, thank you so much. So basically, I think it's like, I think you said it perfectly. It is a team effort, right? It's everything that you guys do as corporate, and then what we do on the boots on the ground. I've always told Glenn Sanford this. Every time I see him, I remind him. I said, the magic in this company is the accessibility to leadership. I said, the magic in this company is the accessibility to leadership. The fact that I can
100%.
Right? The fact that
that.
I can send a message on Workplace and Glenn Sanford will respond. It's just, I mean, I've never, ever been anywhere. And even having all three of you here, you guys are the directors of the country. And we're on this call and you guys are adding value to us. So I think that this is the beauty, the magic of the culture. It's the accessibility to amazing leadership. And it's not this hierarchy structure where you have to go through all these spaces to get to somebody. Like, this is the magic.
Cool. What are people trying to prove when they do that? I don't get it.
And just to add to what you're saying, Leo and Renata, what you brought is, one of the persons that I would say that I look up to is Leo. He's actually has helped me globally in a lot of different ways. And one of the reasons why I feel that I was so attracted to his leadership is because he's about intention, and it's not about, you can't see an agent like a dollar sign. You have to really see, how can you help this person? They're not even an agent. You got to look at them as a human being. How can I help you make your life better? What is your goal? Do you want to purchase property in Spain and not live in Spain, right? Do you want to pay off your parents' home? Maybe buy them a house cash. What is it that you want to do? And so as soon as you see yourself not part of the equation and you put that individual in first place, that right there, I will say, is the definition of leadership.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Love it, Jazz. Thank you so much for sharing. And I think as we're concluding, again, I just want to say thank you, Andrew, thank you, Dunya, thank you, Renata, thank you, Joseph, thank you, Jasmine, thank you for all the listeners today. Our intention was to bring value, and I got a ton of value. I have like notes and notes and notes of information on each country, because for me, right, now. What I'm intentional about is getting all this information so I can bring more quality agents, because the more that I know, the more that we're all going to grow. So it's been extremely valuable for me. So I just want to say thank you, my sense of appreciation, and looking forward to seeing you guys in person next year, because it's definitely going to be part of my tour. I'm going to stop by and visit you guys, and for sure, Renata, I'm going to see you in February.
You guys are my witnesses.
Yes.
I'm gonna call.
If you're crossing the world all the way to Europe, you better make it to Dubai, because it's easier. It's much easier.
I will. I'm just gonna do a global tour. I'm gonna do a global tour. I want to visit every country.
Spain and focus on
Renata,
Spain.
collaboration.
Just kidding.
I'm inspired.
I get jealous of the
I'm inspired by Mr. Worldwide over here.
By the way, Leo, before we close, just last month, we actually met, myself, Renata, Dennis from Italy, Samuel from France, Lars from Germany, and Guilherme from Portugal. We all had, and Ilaria, of course, our regional director, we all had an event there for Italy. And it's been a success. 60 people came in. Next Monday, literally, because it was on a Saturday, next Monday, they had 5 agents on board, because they were blown away with how the company is, global and amazing. And I got to meet amazing colleagues. So yeah, I just wanted to share that on this platform.
I love it. I love it. Keep us in the loop of everything you guys
It
do. We
was
want to support
amazing.
you guys
Hector has
100%.
the last question.
One last
Hector
question.
has a question. How can we tap into these markets to our local markets?
All right. Who wants to take that on?
How can we tap?
Yeah, please go ahead, Dunya.
You go ahead, since you picked the question. I'm just trying to understand it very well.
Yeah. So how can we tap into these markets to our local markets? I mean, I would say that, I mean, from my perspective, it's like that we're go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I'm saying for Dubai, it's an international market. So if you have clients who wants to diversify their income or their portfolio, property portfolio, you can very much talk to me, and I'm very happy to put you in touch with one of our amazing agents team, and we can guide your client through the entire investment process. If it's on the side of having to, attract agents in Dubai, you also can do that. And you can also reach out to me directly or to Leo to connect us, or Jasmine, and we can help your agent, on board if it's the right agents for the team. So it's very easy. Like I said, the communication is open and it's very easy. You can contact Renata, Andrew. We all are happy to receive your inquiries and referrals and anything that you need.
Love it. Love it. All right, guys. Well, we are at the top of the hour. And Mr. Andrew, one last thing.
Yeah, last thing, exactly the same with South Africa, what Dune mentioned there. So obviously introduced to a local EXP South Africa agent. They can guide you in terms of a property purchase, no problem at all. If you're interested in finding out more about EXP South Africa, do a Zoom call every Wednesday evening, 6 p.m. The model explained. It's a power half hour. It's easy to get agents to that. It's a matter of making contact with a local agent. Come to that show, and that's how you grow your team here locally. Thanks very much indeed.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Definitely send me over the details, Andrew. I'll definitely plug into that. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Have a great day.
You too all. Bye.
Cheers, everyone.